Hello everyone, welcome to Easy English for Everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share to receive the latest videos. Now let's study together.
Hi everyone. Today, we will practice listening and speaking skills with the mystery of the lost book topic. This story will take you on an exciting journey to solve a mystery while teaching the importance of curiosity, teamwork, and problem solving. Chapter 1: A New Beginning. Once upon a time, in a small town called Maplewood, there lived a young girl named Lily. Lily was a bright and curious 12-year-old who had just started middle school. She had a head full of dreams and a heart full of adventure. Her favorite hobby was reading, and she spent most of her free time in the town library, lost in the pages of her favorite books. Her favorite hobby was reading, and she spent most of her free time in the town library, lost in the pages of her favorite books. Lily's family was a close-knit group. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, were both teachers at the local elementary school. Her older brother, Max, was a high school student who was always busy with sports and his part-time job at the local grocery store. Despite their busy schedules, the Johnsons made sure to spend quality time together, whether it was family dinners, weekend trips, or just hanging out in the backyard. One sunny afternoon, Lily was sitting in her room, surrounded by a pile of books, when she stumbled upon an old, dusty journal hidden under her bed. The journal belonged to her grandmother, who had passed away a few years ago. Lily's curiosity was piqued, and she eagerly opened the journal to find a series of handwritten notes and sketches. The first page read, "To my dear Lily, this journal is a treasure trove of stories and lessons. I hope it will inspire you to explore the world and learn new things." Lily was captivated. She decided to read the journal every day, one story at a time. The first story was about her grandmother's adventures in a far-off land, where she had learned to speak a new language and made friends with people from all walks of life. The story was filled with colorful descriptions and heartwarming moments, and it left Lily feeling inspired and eager to learn more. That night, at dinner, Lily shared her discovery with her family. Her parents were delighted and encouraged her to continue reading the journal. Max, who was usually more interested in sports, even showed a bit of curiosity, asking Lily to tell him more about the story she found. Chapter 2: The Language of Friendship. The next day, Lily decided to put her grandmother's story into action. She wanted to learn a new language, just like her grandmother had. She remembered a classmate, Carlos, who was fluent in Spanish. Carlos was a friendly and outgoing boy who always had a smile on his face. Lily decided to ask him for help. During lunchtime, Lily approached Carlos at his table. "Hi, Carlos," she said, her heart beating a little faster. "I was wondering if you could help me learn Spanish. I found this old journal with stories about my grandmother's adventures, and I want to be able to read them in Spanish too." Carlos's eyes lit up. "Sure, Lily. I'd love to help you. We can start with some basic phrases and work our way up. How about we meet after school today?" Lily nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. "That sounds great. Thanks, Carlos." After school, Lily and Carlos met in the library. Carlos brought a Spanish-English dictionary and a notebook. They started with simple phrases like, "Hola," hello, "Cómo estás?" How are you? And "Gracias," thank you. Carlos was a patient teacher, and Lily was a quick learner. They practiced by having short conversations, and Carlos even taught her a few Spanish songs. As they worked, Lily noticed that Carlos was not only helping her with language, but also sharing stories about his family and culture. He told her about his abuela, grandmother, who lived in Mexico and sent him care packages filled with homemade cookies and letters. Lily felt a connection to Carlos and his family, and she realized that learning a new language was not just about words, but also about building friendships. Chapter 3. The adventure begins. A few weeks later, Lily and Carlos decided to put their new language skills to the test. They planned a trip to the local park, where they would practice speaking Spanish with each other and with anyone who was willing to join in. The park was a popular spot in Maplewood, with a playground, a pond, and a picnic area. On a sunny Saturday morning, they packed a picnic basket with sandwiches, fruit, and juice, and set off for their adventure. When they arrived at the park, they found a quiet spot under a big oak tree. Lily and Carlos spread out a blanket and started their picnic. They chatted in Spanish, laughing and correcting each other's mistakes. As they ate, a group of children playing nearby overheard them and approached curiously. "Do you speak Spanish?" one of the children asked. Lily and Carlos looked at each other and nodded. "Yes, we speak a little," Carlos replied. The children were excited and asked if they could join in. Lily and Carlos welcomed them, and soon they were all playing a game of Simon Says in Spanish. The game was a hit, and the children were having a blast. Lily noticed that some of the parents were watching from a distance, smiling and nodding. After the game, Lily and Carlos invited the children to join their picnic. They shared their sandwiches and juice, and the children introduced themselves. One of the children, a girl named Sophia, told them about her family's annual trip to Spain. She showed them pictures of the beaches, the castles, and the delicious food. Lily and Carlos were fascinated and asked her to teach them some more Spanish phrases. By the end of the afternoon, Lily and Carlos had made new friends and had a lot of fun. They felt proud of their progress and decided to plan more language practice sessions at the park. As they walked home, they talked about all the things they had learned and the memories they had made. Chapter 4. The Mystery of the Lost Book. One day, Lily was browsing the library shelves when she noticed that her favorite book, The Adventures of Peter Rabbit, was missing. She asked the librarian, Mrs. Thompson, if she knew where it was. Mrs. Thompson looked concerned. "I'm sorry, Lily. It seems that the book has been misplaced. We've been looking for it for a while now, but no luck. I hope it turns up soon." Lily was disappointed but determined. She decided to help find the book. She asked her friends and classmates if they had seen it, but no one had. She even posted a note on the school bulletin board, asking for any information about the missing book. A few days later, Lily was walking home from school when she saw a group of children gathered around a tree. They were looking up at something, and Lily couldn't resist her curiosity. She walked over to see what was happening. "Hey, Lily," one of the children called out. "Look up there. It's a book." Lily looked up and saw a small, leather-bound book stuck in the branches of the tree. She recognized it immediately. It was The Adventures of Peter Rabbit. How did it get up there? Lily wondered aloud. One of the children, a boy named Tom, said, "I think it fell out of someone's backpack. We were playing under the tree, and we found it stuck up there." Lily was thrilled. She asked the children to help her get the book down. They found a long stick and carefully nudged the book until it fell into Tom's hands. Lily thanked the children and rushed to the library to return the book. When she arrived, Mrs. Thompson was overjoyed. "Lily, you found it. Thank you so much. I was so worried about that book. It's a rare edition, and it means a lot to the library." Lily felt a sense of accomplishment. She had solved the mystery and helped the library. Mrs. Thompson rewarded her with a special library pass that allowed her to check out extra books for a month. Lily was thrilled and promised to keep an eye out for any more lost books. Chapter 5. The Art of Storytelling. Lily's love for stories continued to grow, and she decided to share her passion with others. She started a storytelling club at school, where students could gather and share their favorite stories. The club met every Friday afternoon in the school library, and it quickly became a popular activity. Lily was the club's leader, and she encouraged everyone to bring their favorite books or even make up their own stories. The club members took turns reading aloud, and they discussed the characters, plots, and themes. Lily found that storytelling was not only fun, but also a great way to improve her English skills. One Friday, Lily decided to share a story from her grandmother's journal. She chose a tale about a brave young girl who went on a journey to find a hidden treasure. The story was filled with adventure, mystery, and a bit of humor. As Lily read, she noticed that her classmates were captivated. They asked questions, made predictions, and even offered their own ideas for the story. After the meeting, Lily's friend, Emily, approached her. "Lily, that story was amazing. I've never heard anything like it. Where did you find it?" Lily smiled. "It's from my grandmother's journal. She wrote it when she was young, and I think it's a great way to learn about different cultures and perspectives." Emily was inspired. "Can I read more of your grandmother's stories? I'd love to share them with my family too." Lily agreed and lent Emily the journal. The next week, Emily brought the journal back with a note from her parents, thanking Lily for sharing such a beautiful and meaningful story. Lily felt a sense of pride and fulfillment. She realized that storytelling had the power to bring people together and create lasting connections. Chapter 6: The Power of Words. As Lily continued to read and share stories, she began to understand the power of words. She noticed how words could inspire, comfort, and even change people's lives. She decided to write her own stories, drawing inspiration from her experiences and the stories in her grandmother's journal. One day, Lily wrote a short story about a girl who overcame her fear of public speaking. The story was based on her own experiences of joining the school debate team. She shared the story with her family, and they were impressed by her writing skills. Her parents encouraged her to submit the story to the school's literary magazine. Lily was nervous, but decided to take the chance. She submitted her story, and a few weeks later, she received a letter from the magazine editor. The letter said that her story had been selected for publication and would appear in the next issue. Lily was overjoyed. She shared the news with her family and friends, and they were all proud of her. When the magazine arrived, Lily's story was on the front page. She felt a sense of accomplishment and realized that her words could make a difference. Chapter 7: The Language of the Heart. As Lily's language skills improved, she began to understand the language of the heart. She realized that words were not just about grammar and vocabulary, but also about emotions and connections. She started to pay more attention to the way people spoke and the emotions behind their words. One day, Lily's friend, Sarah, was feeling sad because her grandmother was ill. Lily knew how important family was, and she wanted to help. She wrote a letter to Sarah's grandmother, telling her about the fun times they had shared and how much she meant to Sarah. She also included a drawing of a flower, which was Sarah's grandmother's favorite. When Sarah's grandmother received the letter, she was touched. She called Sarah and read the letter to her, and they both felt a sense of comfort and love. Sarah thanked Lily for her kindness, and Lily realized that words had the power to heal and bring joy. Chapter 8: The Journey Continues. As the school year came to a close, Lily reflected on all the things she had learned and experienced. She had made new friends, learned a new language, solved a mystery, and discovered the power of words. She felt grateful for the support of her family and friends and the inspiration of her grandmother's stories. Lily decided to continue her journey of learning and storytelling. She planned to read more books, write more stories, and share her love of language with others. She knew that the journey would be filled with challenges and adventures, but she was ready to face them with courage and determination. One sunny afternoon, as Lily sat under the big oak tree in the park, She opened her grandmother's journal and read the last page. It said, "Dear Lily, the world is full of stories waiting to be discovered. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep sharing. Your words have the power to change the world." Lily smiled, feeling a sense of purpose and excitement. She knew that her journey was just beginning, and she was ready to embrace it with open arms. Years later, Lily grew up to be a successful writer and teacher. She wrote books that inspired children and adults alike, and she taught language and literature at a local university. She never forgot the lessons she learned from her grandmother's journal and the adventures she had in Maplewood. Lily continued to share her love of stories with the world, and she inspired many others to do the same. She often visited the park where she and Carlos had practiced Spanish, and she would tell the children there about her grandmother's adventures and the power of words. One day, as Lily was walking through the park, she saw a group of children gathered around a tree. They were reading a story, and one of the children looked up and saw her. "Hey, it's Lily," the child called out. "Do you want to join us?" Lily smiled and walked over. She sat down with the children and listened to their story. As they read, she felt a sense of joy and fulfillment. She knew that the legacy of stories and the power of words would continue to inspire and connect people for generations to come. And so, Lily's journey of learning and storytelling continued, a legacy that would never fade.